those resets, they do have that, like you're just saying, that upfront damage. They want to kill you instantly. But it's also one of the things you have to worry about. It really can create a problem if you fall behind early game.
Yep. Okay, well, we're about to find out if Nex Impetus can force their way through to win their first game in Group A. They do need to win this one, remember, because having lost that first game against Pain already, it means they will effectively be eliminated from that group after 2 matches. Millennium, on the other hand, are going for 2 out of 2, and that would almost certainly secure their place in the semi-final, which is, if you've been following all day, you'll remember that Millennium need to just reach the semi-final to finish 3rd, 4th, and they will have enough points to leapfrog all of the other teams just above them in the rankings, which will guarantee them a place in the World Championship final. That's at CBIT on the 5th to 9th of March, so I'm not too far away from that either.
See, Paul, I think one of the questions is right now is what's going through Nex's head? Because, you know, like you're just saying, they're already down 1 game. They're playing against Millennium. They're a relatively, really strong team in Europe. It's a huge mind game. It can be like you could get yourself down before you actually get into that game, and it can create quite a bit of problems. I know you've been in esports so long that I guarantee you've seen this many times before. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you know, teams that prepare like this, I mean, yeah, they come in and they're thinking about how they get through this next game, but they're really not worried about the opponent. Well, they're more worried about what they do for themselves to try and get through this next game. We are just about ready then for this first, well, 3rd game of the day actually, but the first attempt by Millennium to reach the semi-final. Let's see how they get on by sending it over to our commentators in your local language, Portuguese for the Brazilians, and of course in English.
Thanks a lot, Paul. So, Freak, an amazing game we've seen already happening twice already. Yeah. Actually, the first game in particular between the 2 Brazilian sides was brilliant. What do you think to these 2 team comps? Who's your money with?
I actually really like Nex Impetus because I think their team is a little bit more well-rounded. I don't really like Misfortune Nunu. I don't really like the lack of a tank. I think it's going to be very hard for Millennium to do well to close the game out. And I think we've seen sort of in both these games so far that the games kind of get turned around many, many times. And if you can't win, you always kind of give the opportunity for the other team to turn that one back around. Now, we are into the game, guys. Let's get ourselves up in there, and we can already see a bit of a pause, actually. But English basically had been kind of trying to zone out the team, putting down some early traps, and playing a little bit safely. But actually at the same time, if you look down to the minimap, you actually do see that the rest of that team is rushing to the bottom to put down a ward. So I take that back. Millennium might be looking very aggressive early on in this game.
Well, apparently both teams have actually lost connection to their TeamSpeak server, which, well, you don't need to be a genius. Especially at level 1, you need your TeamSpeak to be in place. Otherwise, things can go wrong very, very badly. To guess you just saying in chat, why ban Mortar, sad face? And as Fresh says, because Mortar is numero uno. But I actually predicted this to Jason before. I was like, I think we're going to see any Mordecais. I was like, well, not from the Brazilian teams. You might see it from one of the European teams as kind of a troll pick almost. But from what we've seen in these Brazilian teams so far, I don't think that they're comfortable enough to do that kind of thing. You know, they know Millennium here that, yeah, they could afford technically to lose a game, but certainly you'll not see that coming out of Meet Your Makers in the next game.
No, and realistically, I feel like these teams want to have the best shot they can of getting to the finals. When you look at the entire team roster in this tournament, there's a big sort of skull over the LGIM lineup because they are probably coming in as a heavy favorite. And as much as we talked about favorites during the European LCS qualifiers and how well some of them did and how well some of them didn't do, you still kind of got to realize that like the daunting sort of force coming in from Korea is a scary thing. And if you assume they're going to top their group and get first place, you really don't want to be second place in Group A because it means you have to face the #1 from Group B in the semifinals on Saturday, and no team wants to go out in the semifinals. They want to move on towards the finals if possible. So, you know, I think that even if you're 2-0, even if you are secured to go through and into the playoffs, you still really, 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 really want to get first place in the group.
Yeah, it could mean the difference between a somewhat easier game or a team against the Koreans, which, like you said, is just, you'd avoid it if at all possible right up until that grand final. Looks like we are pretty much ready to get going back again on this one, though. Obviously, we are still just 47 seconds in, and we may just see some early action coming out. Millennium's current position, to me, says that they may just go for something in the bottom side of Nexus jungle.
All right, well, let's see what they are up to indeed. So they're going to run in there. It's going to be an early ward put down in the Wraith brush right here by Fat Mama. Turning back around. Oh, because they found someone. They found Minaj.
Yeah, they've got the stun card down onto him. Can they finish up here for that first blood? Oh, use the barrier, but it wasn't enough. And Creaton is going to pick up that first kill. And that is bad news right from the very get-go for Nex Impetus.
That is really unfortunate, too, because he had Flash up the entire time and thought he could save the Summoner, because there was no crowd control left from that Millennium lineup, but they managed to chase him down just well enough. Excellent job by them, of course, to pick up that kill, but without even burning a Summoner, they managed to pick up first blood. That is a very big lead.
A very strong lead. Are we going to see a horror lane? I think we can pretty much call it there, with that Misfortune really bringing down the pain onto them. In terms of the jungle starts here, after that little bit of early action, we can see that Millennium up by the Wolves, and pretty much the same over on the other side for Nex Impetus.
So this is basically both junglers starting off with the Golem buff, which you don't need to do when you're Shen, but he's going to do that anyway, and just kind of get a couple more Vorpal Spikes and a couple more Faint Shields up there, but he could have kind of started wherever. Kha'Zix, in the meantime, actually really does want that extra mana and cooldown reduction, and he has a bit of a rough time in the jungle here because he had to learn Leap at level 1 to make that kill happen. He's going to learn his Void Spike at level 2, but without Taste Their Fear, his damage output is going to be a little bit... He actually picks up Taste Their Fear now. So without Void Spike, though, he has to immediately recall back, having no health.
Wow. Good start, though, for Millennium. And now, you'll, I think as a jungler, you'll quite happily trade that whole thing off there. Okay, you might set yourself back a little bit in the jungle, but that assist that you pick up at the end of the day is going to help you, and certainly help your team when you turn that into the first blood as well. So, let's have a look then, because we do have a lane switch coming on here, and it is, of course, Millennium that have pulled that one. It's going to put Nidalee in a 2 versus 1 and Elise in a 2 versus 1. Freak, what's your opinion on who benefits most from that?
It's difficult to say, because on the one side, I think Elise suffers more than Nidalee will. Nidalee is ranged, Nidalee has really good sustain, and actually, wow, look at that one! As I say, she's going to suffer less, she gets completely crushed.
That was like from nowhere. That was pretty ridiculous stuff there coming out from Nex, and I'm not sure that Angush was quite ready for such a thing to end up happening to him. That's going to leave him in a bit of a sticky situation, to say the least, but he'll get back into that lane. If you look at the top laners now, both with 3-4 CS, roundabout even on that one. But these AD carries now both have a killer piece. You see the longsword being picked up by Ezreal. Meanwhile, in his top lane, could be a bit of trouble for Elise, as they predict his movements brilliantly. Their exhaust is down. That will be kill number 2 for Creaton.
Very, very nice for them, and that's the kind of situation you sort of see when you lane swap, as you look for these level 2, level 3 jungle ganks. I'm So Fresh coming right around, diving on top, and the tools were not available. So I was going to say that Elise, I think, has a little bit of a rougher time in a 1 versus 2, just because she lacks that extra sustain that Nidalee would normally grab. But on the flip side to that, they're fighting against, you basically got Lulu, Ezreal, who are actually very good at pushing. There's a lot of damage output you can put there onto the minions. Lulu has great area of effect, makes it really, really brutal. On the other side, the Misfortune Nunu, you know, I guess just because of how much pressure they got, managed to pick this turret up very, very quickly, but I would not normally have expected MF Nunu to kill turrets quite as fast as Lulu Ezreal.
And they should probably see them now coming down in towards this bottom lane, switching up with that Nidalee, trying to get down turret number 2. And that's, 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Good early turret. Actually, Nex are doing a good job on this bottom lane. Obviously, did get that kill onto Angush earlier, and now working their way onto this turret. And it may very well go down with this push. Not quite, but next time should be pretty safe for Nex.
Next wave is definitely going to be there, so that's kind of what you expect to see on both these sides. What's interesting now is where the lane swap's going to go. Millennium is actually sending their AD carrying support back to the bottom here. Creaton's going to be up against really a dead turret here, though, so he's not going to show up in time. This is going to be a full swap, and now we're going to see what Nex Impetus goes for. They're immediately recalling here, so they actually want to continue that sort of 2-on-1 setup. Creaton actually coming in here, though, putting a lot of punishment down. And here comes I'm So Fresh as well. The 3-on-2. This is not looking great. A beautiful Glitter Lance hits all 3. Is that going to be enough for Alex?
Just about there. He got through Misfortune with that last auto attack. Wasn't quite enough to secure Millennium that kill, but now with this 1-1 situation, 2-1 in kills, obviously 1-1 in turrets now, as Nex did bring Shen down to this bottom lane just to try and counteract the fact that Kha'Zix was hanging in around there. We also have now Elise putting pressure onto this top turret. And we'll see if he can pick up anything more from that one. So let's have a look at that overall picture. 8.5 to 7.8 thousand gold. After 5.5 minutes, that's a considerable amount.
There's actually, yeah, a lot of gold. I mean, you're seeing 3 kills already, 2 turrets, which is a pretty high margin as well. You're certainly seeing a much more rich game. And Alex is getting caught up by Mama.
So,
bit of damage going on to him. Looks like he's safe.
He will, again, be safe from that one. And he's done a good job of staying alive in that bottom lane. There's at least a couple of times now where we could have seen him go down. And that's the beauty of that Glitter Lance, which, you know, at the start of it, obviously with the slow decaying, right at the start, it's more of a snare than a slow, to be honest with you. Pretty annoying stuff as Tabs here may get caught out by Shen and will flash away.
Red buff Shen, I think he would have had to. I think Shen would have kept chasing him down over and over, and Tabs would have had a really rough time getting out. But, I don't know, that said he had boots, so, I mean, very defensive of him. He knew if the Shadow Dash landed and Ari was in range, he would have died.
Here we go, then they're going to put pressure down on towards Fat Mama, but Twisted Fate coming in there. Looks like Shen is going to be the target. He will go down. Fat Mama picks it up. AD carries going head to head here. Ignites are going down. In comes Creaton for his 3rd kill of this game. He's 3-0-1 now. Will Alex be able to survive this one? He's putting down good damage on him auto attack, which is going to allow Ari to get in there. That ultimate absolutely destroying him. Double kill. Can he get the triple? Yes, he can. Triple kill coming down for Ari.
That was beautiful, and you can just hear, I hope you can hear that. The crowd in Brazil is going absolutely wild. Not quite hearing the chant, but certainly those kills really looking good for the home crowd here. Once again, we've got 2 Brazilian teams in each group here. There it is. Wow. Just.
Actually, you just have to take your headphones off a second. Okay, now they've got a bit quiet, but that is so insane how loud the guys are here. And to be honest, wasn't quite expecting that, as we are going to see a little bit of fighting going on in the jungle. Anglish will just pounce away. His spear not quite landing through on towards Shen. So, 5-4, where does that leave us? It's 1,000 gold lead still. Where's the next action all going to come down, Freak?
It will definitely come as soon as Destiny comes back up from cooldown. Just a minute left on that one, and Tabs is going to have to stay sort of omnipresent here and really just put his presence onto everyone and just gank constantly. This is a team that I think really wants to get some early aggressive moves, because actually, like last time, Millennium here, they're facing a Shen, and they do not have Summoner Teleport. Now, I do not think that Twisted Fate will have a good one-on-one against Shen, so they don't have an easy way of dealing with him. In fact, they have exactly one guy who can stop Shen ult, and that is actually Tabs with Gold Card. No one else literally has a hard crowd control on this team, so they cannot stop a Shen split push, or if they do throw Nidalee heads up, she can't stop him, and she will just let 4-on-5s happen. That's a very difficult situation for Millennium, so they need to start pressuring now, get their presence known, get some more turret kills. You can see they're up 2-1, that's good, but they need to keep making moves.
Keep making moves is surely what they'll be aiming for here, as Twisted Fate just going home there, picking up a 2nd orange ring. Boots, obviously, and that shield were already there earlier on. See there the overall gold totals. Actually, in the middle lane, Ari is in a great position because of that triple kill earlier on. He's ahead in the CS as well. Is Takeshi here going to be one of the biggest factors in this game now for Nex? Yeah,
he suddenly just kind of breaks the game open, because normally this team from Millennium is really good at just starting fights, being all over the place. The ganks coming in from I'm So Fresh on Kha'Zix, the ganks coming in from Tabs on Twisted Fate, they're going to be all over the place, and it is very easy for Nidalee to follow up, and it is easy for someone with Blood Boil to follow up. So these kills should be coming in fairly frequently from Millennium. The difficulty, though, is Ari is also going to be everywhere. That she's got so much gold on her now that her ganks, even if they show up late, will do a crap ton of damage, and it's going to really turn fights around just like you saw last time.
So let's have a look at the other items here, as we see Millennium actually doing Dragon right now. And looks like this will be an absolute freebie for them. Next were nowhere in the area. We've seen time and time again, and I guess game number 1 was one of the biggest shows of this kind of thing, that although you can be ahead and sometimes considerably ahead in kills, if you don't go for the whole global objective side of the game, you can end up still losing it.
Yes. It's actually very, very important, and it was actually a very well set up situation for Millennium. They had the pink ward up by Dragon for over 2 minutes and made sure that there was no wards left, and then just pulled people down. It wasn't like the last game where Sona crescendoed Lulu, forced her back, said it's a 5-on-4, you can't stop us. It wasn't people getting chunked low, it was you can't see us do this, and they just snuck it in.
So we have Millennium here ganging up in middle. Are they going to look to take down the final outer turret left in the game for Nex. They don't have much in terms of minions there with them, but they will be streaming in here in just a couple of moments. In terms of items there, the AD carries both with that Bloodthirst to complete. Misfortune getting the edge there with that first blood, plus a 4-1-1 score that she currently has with the Berserker Greaves on. It's currently sat at almost 900 gold as well. But look at this, Nex actually pushing them back. I'm So Fresh forced to jump out of the way there, so as not to get pulled up in towards that fight. But, you know, good wave clearing there. I mean, the wildcards from Twisted Fate alone just rip through those waves.
This is actually really good for Millennium, is that they have incredible poke. They can't start fights that easily without, you know, it being a gank from Twisted Fate, but they can sit in this sort of situation and just siege, and make things really, really difficult. The problem is, once they finally send Shen to start split pushing, and right now being only level 7, he's pretty easy to duel, but as they get maybe 8-10 minutes later into this game, they have to start reacting to Shen, and it's going to make it very difficult for Millennium.
Well, right now we've got Nidalee actually pushing this top lane, and Irelia on Elise having a bit of trouble there. He is actually a level behind currently. He does have that giant spell in there, and you can see with that lack of damage really that he's got coming out, certainly can't go head-to-head with Angush.
Now, and Angush actually is stacking a lot of magic as well. Chalice of Harmony, Hex Drinker coming out as well. You might see a Spirit Visage follow that up. He's going to be very hard for Elise to kill. You can see the damage comes out, and it's not all that high. He's able to sustain himself. He's maxed that heal, but here comes some pressure. Yeah,
gonna go in there. Cocoon did land, but there's the beauty of Nidalee. Actually, he's going to leap away, but can he pin him down? And Nidalee just such a slippy character here. Irelia is going to try and continue in, but Angush, well, he just pounces away for the victory. And now we have Kha'Zix actually coming through that jungle side. Will he go for it here? Elise is still pushed up there in the lane. I'm So Fresh knows it as well, but in the end they decide, well, let's not risk getting caught out of position.
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of know that the rest of the team is kind of available to show up to a fight later on. Elise, pretty healthy, has a giant spell, not easy to burst her down either. He's got a little bit of ward coverage in the jungle, but I don't think they can really contest much.
Well, right now blue buff being taken away by Nex, and you can see how scared they are of that one. Actually, it's going to be 4 men, if I could count, actually doing that blue buff there, just to make sure that it's secure, that it's not taken away. And well, I suppose at this stage of the game where you know that every little bit helps and really can count, losing a blue buff here when it could be on your 300 AP carry could actually mean the difference between, you know, winning or doing well at least in a fight and getting totally stomped in it.
And having that Golem buff was actually super important for her as well, because she had burned Spirit Rush. Thankfully, actually picked up the Golem buff before her last charge, so it actually reflected the updated cooldown reduction there. So she'll have it up in the next minute, but that's actually a very important tool in this fight, because Millennium can't really keep Creatine alive very well. They have no really good tools to keep people from chasing her down, especially against someone like Ahri or someone like Elise, who can just jump into the air or jump forwards and catch her. So having Spirit Rush up allows them to actually remove him from the fight very, very early on. And unlike last game, where when Meteor Makers dove in on Millennium, killed Misfortune, they got AoE'd to death, they don't have that same sort of caveat here. Twisted Fate, it's not super high damage per second. I'm So Fresh in the jungle isn't going to have the same kind of damage you would normally see from a top lane Kha'Zix or a mid lane Kha'Zix, and Nidalee's opened up pretty tanky here. So they can kind of faithfully dive from Nex Impetus and get away with it.
And we see Kindle Gem plus a Hex Drinker being finished over for Nidalee. And in the meantime, Nex just making sure that these waves don't come through, don't give any opportunity whatsoever to Millennium to take away this final outer turret. But you can see there, the wildcards doing half of the damage to all of those minions. And you know, they've got decent poke back on the other side, I suppose, with Ezreal in there, with Takeshi, with Ahri, and also even with Lulu. So they can match, I guess. Maybe not match, but certainly put back in terms of the poke.
Yes, it's kind of a interesting situation, because they do just have these great long-range skill shots where they can wave clear pretty faithfully and stop push from happening too much. But just once again, the difficulty here for Millennium is they can't easily start a fight. So these poke wars will happen, but they can actually get initiated on. If someone catches a charm, they could kill him.
And right now, again, putting down damage onto this outer turret. Currington, he's going to get caught. They get the kill. Fat Mama's going low. Fat Mama is going to die as well. And here comes Ahri with that ultimate on from Lulu. Decides in the end not to go for it. Will they be able to lock down I'm So Fresh? Irelia doing damage there on towards Twisted Fate. He's going to flash in. The Cocoon actually landed as he went away from it. But they've managed to get 2 kills from that one. Will they be able to finish off the tower as well?
they have the ability to. They've got a full-on, basically 4-on-2 really, as Ari went back to the base. This is their turret. Danagor, they've landed the stun into I'm So Fresh. And look at that, they burn his flash as well. This is a lot of mid-game power here from Nex Impetus.
And that will put Nex Impetus ahead on the kills. It's 2-2 now in towers, and that middle outer turret, we know how important it is in terms of vision on the map. And Millennium has not managed to pull it off on the other side as Ari now chases
Charm's
him
up.
on towards Angush. Can he land that charm? He's going to flash in. Charm will land. Has he got the cooldowns here to finish off this kill though? Angush doing a good amount of damage to him. Will he have enough though? That's the question. Takeshi going decently low.
Running into Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal comes in. This should be it. This should be the kill. Yes, it will be. It's Manai who picks that one up with Ezreal. In the meantime, Dragon was taken.
It was a very wise play on both sides, really. It was a great bait from Nidalee. Ultimately, Millennium comes out ahead doing that. Actually, I'm just going to let them chant some more because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty electric atmosphere here.
So the Dragon for a kill is worth it for Millennium overall. Very good choice by them to have Angush basically bait there. And once they realized he had pulled aggro from one other champion, they knew they had the numbers to get Dragon away. So very good job by Millennium. But still, good job by Takeshi really holding Nidalee there for so long, landing multiple charms in a row. I mean, he got one charm that pulled him into turret range, got another one after a flash. Like a very, very good aim there from Ari. He's really pulling that together.
Yeah, now we actually see them pushing again up this middle lane. And we talked about this comp from Millennium being all-out aggression, but right now Nex doing a fantastic job of holding things off. And they've got those giant belts in there. They've got currently 3 in their team, and that's what Jason touched on earlier, that they're probably going to need to get as tanky as they can in this early to mid-game to beat through it, and then just turn around with the damage and hammer them.
Yes, basically just gigantic damage up all at once is kind of the name of the game for both of these teams in a sense. Certainly there's some tanky sort of overtime damage dealers, but you're going to see most of the fights determined in the first 3 seconds of if someone gets insta-gibbed.
Well, right now we've just seen Lich Bane being picked up by a Twisted Fate. Let's see where they're going to go with this one. Ward put down there in that middle lane. And that extra bit of vision can always help things out. I see Nidalee is once again pushing this this top lane out. Will be up towards that inner turret. Ezreal had to go across to cover that one, and that will at least alleviate some pressure in the middle lane.
The interesting thing here for Millennium, though, is basically they're the ones actually trying to split push and play that 4-on-4 game, which is interesting to me because Angush can't participate in those fights. They've got to pull him early to make him show up there and actually do battle. And you actually saw the very last fight. They had Danagorn basically go over there and try to counter the split push, and then just simply stand united and show up into that battle. And Nex Impetus won that fight. And just now, this second, stand united came back from cooldown. So honestly, the Brazilians are happy to sort of play that game again. They say, you know what, go ahead, Nidalee, go for the split push. Shen will 1v1 you. He'll survive with the Sunfire Cape, no problem. And we'll fight a 5-on-4 because Shen can show up to the battle.
Right now, it looks like Millennium going to be trying to steal away this blue buff. Takeshi had started it off, but realized that it was going to be under pressure. And we'll see if they can actually take this one back. Actually, the entire next team comes around. Charm lands onto I'm So Fresh. Well, he, in the end, will have to walk away from that one, but the rest of the team is there. They've managed to secure that blue buff, did they? Was it stolen?
Creatin got it.
Yeah, Creatin actually got it in the end, so nice little steal coming out of Millennium.
It was actually an early smite. They didn't have Shen anywhere nearby, but they timed it very, very well. I'm So Fresh put the smite down right before Misfortune attacked that. It's a very, very good move, and you saw them actually. This is why you keep wards. Well, I mean, I guess it's a sight stone in this case in your inventory at all times because they needed that ward in the brush to even spot Golem. Wow, look at that damage. Fat Mama really getting hurt here.
Yeah, good stuff coming out of Takeshi. Obviously does have that Crystal Scepter in there and finished now as he is going to actually charm in, ulti in there on towards Fat Mama, who will back away, and now they start to turn it around, but look at the damage. Exhaust coming. Here comes Shen into the battle as well. They've got the polymorph down onto Fat Mama, but it looks like Millennium are wanting to turn this one around. Creatin's got the double buff in. There is the Lulu ultimate. Danagorn actually taking very little damage from that Misfortune bullet time though.
I really love the coordination by Nex Impetus there. I was so surprised that Ari turned back in with Spirit Rush. I was like, you're just going to die. And they were trying to bait I'm So Fresh to jump in there because they had the Shen ult ready. You saw him immediately pop Stand United. They had Lulu ultimate ready, and she popped Wild Growth when it was relevant there. He was actually baiting himself. That was a beautiful move there by Ari to try to bait Millennium into a fight there. Thankfully for Millennium, they did not take the bait, but still, that's a really smart move there.
And for 20.5 minutes into this game. And we saw actually an Ari ban earlier against Nex, I guess for a reason that Takeshi is a fantastic Ari player. Maybe that Mordekaiser ban would have been, you know, better placed in the end for Millennium. You know, rather than going for Mordekaiser, picking up that Ari, taking a bit of a leaf out of Payne's book, who obviously know this team a lot better than Millennium are going to do.
Absolutely, and you're really seeing, I mean, this game looks as close as the very first game of this tournament. When you watched Nex Impetus versus Payne Gaming, you saw, you know, Payne play a very different game, and they played it all about the turrets, and despite losing on in kills, they had another advantage elsewhere here, and instead you're seeing, you know, a very neck-and-neck game where, honestly, you're seeing advantages that aren't kills come out from Millennium.
But now Millennium pushing down this middle turret. Will they be able to take it this time around? Nex have kind of left it one a little bit too open. There's the Ezreal ulti actually coming out. Takeshi going to dive in there. Actually didn't manage to land that charm, which could have turned things around. Twisted Fate, in fact, flashed away from that one. And that will be this middle turret being defended well. So, you know, overall, people didn't know, well, I can say that we didn't really know what to expect from this game, how good Nex were going to come out, but so far, I'm impressed.
This group is honestly wide open. By looking at the result from this game so far, and seeing that, I feel like Nex they're down in goal, but I feel like they're winning here. This group just feels wide open. You saw Payne take them out, you saw Millennium win against Meet Your Makers, but, I mean, Millennium's up 1-0 here, Nex is down 0-1 in the groups, and you're seeing this game potentially turn both these teams to 1-1 scores.
So Dragon is now up and available. You can see the pink ward put down by Millennium in that area, but Nex actually pushing. It's a smart move when Dragon's available there, pushing this middle lane completely up towards that inner turret, which should give them that positional advantage.
And here we see them, right? They are pushing up for this turret. They do not have standing netted just yet, though, but neither can Angus show up. So this 4-on-4, ooh, Takeshi's going to find I'm So Fresh. This could be a kill.
This could be a kill as the charm will land, and I'm So Fresh leaps away for victory, or from victory possibly for Takeshi there. And a difficult situation for them to be in. We can see that Takeshi and Manai have gone down towards the Dragon, and it looks like they're going to be at least doing good damage. Millennium looking like they don't want to give this one up, though. Both Irelia and Alox trying to hold this one down as the Twisted Fate ultimate is going to get popped. Where are they going to go in for this? Is Twisted Fate going to get involved? In fact, he's gone into that top lane, so they're trying to take that one. Let's see what Nex can do with this one. Charm will land onto Fat Mama. How is he going to deal with this? He's not going to deal with it. He goes down. I'm So Fresh goes very low. Takeshi not finished just yet as Elise comes in. Bullet time goes down. Lulu ulti actually saving Takeshi there as well, and that will be an inner turret taken down. They've lost one though in the top lane.
Yeah, they've lost one turret for one right there. They're sending Ari back to the base right now to stop this push from happening. Otherwise, she will arrive in time, but this turret's going to lose a heck of a lot of health.
And the question is now, will Nex be able to take the inhibitor turret? They are not backing off from this one. They've got Ezreal, Elise, and Lulu there. As we see, there's flashes coming in. And,
they're still in the base.
They're going to have this one. They're going to have this turret down next. That's a great play out of them. Only I'm So Fresh there, but he knows that he can't really fight the two of them. That Void Spark actually coming in. He's going to dive on towards Midnight. Does get the kill. Shuts him down. Here comes the ultimate out of Fat Mama. Lulu in trouble as well. I'm So Fresh going to pick up the double kill. Well, look at Irelia. He's hammering away on this inhibitor. Can he take it? No, he can't. Not quite.
Oh man, that is an unfortunate situation though for Nex Impetus. A great setup there. I'm So Fresh and Fat Mama going in, and they just bit off a little bit more than they could chew. They underestimated how much damage Kha'Zix could put out there, because he put out a heck of a lot and really hurt them right there.
Well, I mean, he's got Bloodthirst the Brutalizer right now, which is certainly a painful Kha'Zix, that's for sure. By the way, Dragon didn't die in that one. Obviously, we did see Nex peel off from that to try and pick up those kills. They may just lose an outer turret as well. I don't see that Takeshi can defend.
Now, 4-on-4 on turrets there. That is neck and neck. The kills 9-8, so most of these measurements are super close. The only difference you're really seeing is from minions, and not even from minions, from the Twisted Fate passive. That is really the only gold lead you're seeing. When you see that 38 to 34k, a lot of that's from Twisted Fate.
That Dragon being taken down, and now Takeshi right in the middle of them. Wow, he is destroyed from that one. Danagon now maybe the next target coming in. He's down to a quarter HP. Lulu ulti will save him for now, but how long is it going to last? Manaj has gone down. There is Shen being finished off, and Angush is joining the fight. He's right in the back there, trying to pick off Alex. Only needs one more hit. There is that hit, and now Irelia are in trouble because Twisted Fate ulti does go down. He's going to port right in there. He's got the gold card pulled. Where is Irelia going to come in? He turns it around, gets himself one kill, but he will go down. Ace for Millennium.
And that is so unfortunate, though. That complete fight turnaround, great for Millennium to turn on, find so much damage available onto Ahri. And it's one of the big breaking points we normally see is when Stand United shows up, how you react to that is so important. They let Shen arrive, but they killed Ahri so quickly. They basically set up, okay, we're going to kill you 1-on-5, we're going to kill Shen 1-on-5, and then they just found Ezreal, kind of killed him 1-on-5, and they found kill after kill after kill. That team, you know, no resets here. They didn't evolve wings on I'm So Fresh, but they still managed to pick up kill after kill. That was really good for Millennium.
Oh, Angush here has just taken away that blue buff, but the Crystal Scepter not enough to keep the slow down onto him from Takeshi to follow up for a kill. So where does that leave us after that bit of action? 43.5 to 35.8 thousand gold, 5-4 in turrets, 13-10 in kills. The advantage now starting to creep in there for Millennium.
Yeah, they are getting themselves quite up in gold. The turret picked up after that one. Really, really good move. Anytime you win a team fight, you really want to find some kind of global objective to cement that lead. Kills themselves only worth about 450 gold, but kill and a turret, that's another 750 on top of that. That really kind of balloons you forward. So Millennium are definitely doing a good job of turning those kills into something more meaningful as time goes on, and that's kind of why you're seeing them winning this game right here.
The question is, can Nex come back? And I touched on it earlier. Rivington actually brought it up as well in the analysis test there, that experience means so much at this level of the game. Like playing on that stage in front of a home crowd, yeah, is brilliant for Nex. They surely are taking the energy from the crowd and putting it into their game. The problem is, do they have the experience at this kind of level to face a team like Millennium?
It kind of depends, because you've got to rely on instincts in most of your games, because no two games are ever exactly alike. And as you watched Pain versus Nex in the very first game of the day, really good instincts from Surti, making the right calls, getting the split pushes there, getting the inhibitors and strangling control of the map. Now, Nex lost the game basically on getting out-strategized, and that is a rough situation to be in, because they're in a game now where they need to kind of out-strategize Millennium to turn this one around. Now, if you look at Millennium, in their old roster, Haydal was the old strat caller. It's kind of him and Fat Mama, him and I'm So Fresh, replacing that support player. Angush was telling me that I think it's now Angush and I'm So Fresh making most of the calls here, but you know, now Angush is a little bit more new to this role, being the sort of caller. He's got to make sure he makes the right calls here.
And right now we see pink wards galore in the middle lane, in those brushes, trying to clear stuff out, which would most probably indicate that Baron is certainly on the cards. I mean, we're 28 minutes into this game, which wouldn't be the earliest Baron that we've ever seen. However, from Millennium's side of things, you've got to feel that if something goes wrong with a Baron attempt now, Nex come right back in, and that advantage that they've worked the last 10 minutes to gain would be pretty much gone. Exactly,
and that's really the difficulty that you're going to see here from Millennium, is they do not have a way to close out this game. They don't have great sort of forced initiation. They don't have like that Wukong or that Amumu. They're going to go for the Baron here. They're going to try to pull aggro away. But the problem is, without a big dedicated tank, no one with a bunch of armor, Baron hits them really, really hard, and they can turn this around.
Well, we are going to see them pop Shurelias. They've managed to get the stun card onto Takeshi. The wild growth. Oh, it's just about going to be enough here. They could do with a heal, which they don't have. And he will go down. Last tick of that Ignite actually finishing off. And now the question is, will Millennium finally be able to do that, Baron? It's 5 versus 4, so now, as you said, it is still a risk. Baron really hurts them at this stage, but it's 5 versus 4, and that could be it.
Well, they look to try to push more people out. Twisted Fate ulted, pushed Alex out of that one, and now they're going to go in one more time. Again, it's a 5-on-4 possibly, but they're going to be losing quite a bit of health doing this. I expect Nex Impetus to try to fight the 5-on-4 here. They had vision. This ward just timed out in that brush. Baron's still not dead. This is a good chance for them to try to fight, but it's getting lower. They're not going in time.
Baron going to be taken, and now Nex are actually turning around Millennium. They try and seize this 5-on-4 opportunity as Kha'Zix jumps in there. Tabs will actually get the kill in the end as Elise goes up, going to try and turn around onto Fat Mama. This has happened to him before. Great flash over the top. Will he survive that one? Yes, he will. Just about there. Fat Mama staying alive, and they've turned that around and picked up another 2 kills.
That was beautiful by Millennium. The Shurelia's Reverie, was so huge for them because that was basically their in-a-pinch initiation. When you looked at how they killed Ari in the beginning, it was basically Shirelia's and Gold card, and everyone just like diving and hoping they could put the damage output, and they just barely had enough there. I mean, really, really nicely played here by Millennium, and now with Baron buff and a poke-heavy team, they don't need to initiate hardcore. They can just poke, 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 and whittle down the turret to close this game out. Well,
let's see. They're actually going to just dive straight in there. Takeshi taking a lot of damage. That bullet time has been absolutely critical so far in this fight. That's 2 kills. I'm So Fresh will force Shen away. Ezreal ultimate, yeah, it's done decent damage onto Creatine, but it's not going to be enough to keep alive that turret or the inhibitor itself.
And there we go. The inhibitor is theirs, and they just calmly walk right back out. I'm not sure Nex can chase them in on this.
Well, Millennium actually looking to get involved with this one. Stun card will land onto Ezreal, but he'd already used that arcane shift to get himself back far enough to safety.
Okay, so we're in a situation here where Millennium are up 12,000 gold. They've got Baron, they've got the kill lead, they've got a dead inhibitor. They're in a wonderful situation here. It's really their game to close out. They have everything they need, I think, to win the game at this point because their lead is so much. They're actually more able to dive turrets. They're actually more able to take a couple more risks here and just hit people under turrets and take that damage, and it's actually okay. And again, they have such a poke-heavy team. They can whittle people down. They don't have to dive. They just can if they want to. Now, for Nex, they can even look to split push very easily. They do have Shen off to the side. He's looking for that. He's going to try to get himself more farm. He's actually super tanky. He can initiate a fight, but it's just, can Nex put out enough damage? Being down over 10,000 gold, even if they do initiate properly, the question is, can they kill anything when they do that?
Yeah, and with that last trip home after taking Baron, the inhibitor itself, getting kills, Misfortune actually picked up that last whisper plus a BF sword as well, which is going to be a lot more damage. Zonya's Hourglass was finished by Twist of Fate, plus that blasting one coming in as well. Kha'Zix got the giant spell in there, got the pickaxe for even more damage. I think overall these items that they've just picked up could be that spike that ends the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen, is whenever you win a big fight like that, you never get the gold right away. You've always got to get back to base to actually get the advantage from those kills. And so with them winning the Baron fight, picking up, I think, 3 to 5 kills in a row, and all those turrets, just, I mean, I showed the gold a second ago, but you're seeing basically 3,000 gold ahead on every single player here on Millennium. And that's a massive, massive difference. It's a full, basically, Tier 3 completed item for each one of them that they've got in the lead. And that is a huge, huge power difference that they've got to, vastly misposition themselves to throw away this game.
And that Baron buff, how much time has it got? Not long, but it may just be enough to actually take down inhibitor number 2. There's a cocoon not quite landing there. And yes, they've taken out this wave of minions, but for how long will that last? And if they're going to stop that, how does it come in? We can see there Nidalee at this bottom lane. Angus doing a great job of split pushing his way through there, and that leaves them with just 2 turrets outside of the bases. We are going to see the flash initiation coming out there. Creatine going very, very low. Good job by Ari to get in there at the back, but are they going to be able to continue with this one? I'm So Fresh and Angus diving straight in there, and that is going to be obliteration.
That was a beautiful fight. Well done by Millennium there. That gold lead, you just kind of saw that they were able to withstand some of that punishment. The great Shirelli's coming out from Fat Mama, actually not even using Locket of the Iron Solari to keep Misfortune alive, unfortunately, but that's going to be them onto the Nexus. Congratulations, Millennium. 1-1 now in the group, and Next Impetus 0-2, not the best situation for them.
Not the best situation, but the funny thing